Tell me when I get to done with 26. Can you do that? Mark 26. Okay. Then you can see this is Manchuria, which eventually becomes China. This is Korea. This is what they refer to as Indo-China. Indo means south. Okay? That's Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, those areas. You can see how much area Japan was in control of. Okay? Pretty large area. Okay, questions on Japan at this point? Yep.
I thought they lost all their naval power in Midway.
No. They lose all of it. They lost some important pieces. But not until Leyte did they lose the most important pieces.
What did they lose at Leyte?
Their major aircraft carriers, their super carrier.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the home front. Now, World War II, one of the biggest impacts about World War II that are different from what we see with wars going on right now, is everybody at home was affected by the war. Okay? How much of your lives been affected by the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Not a whole lot. World War II, people's lives were impacted. The war ended the Depression. The economy is geared up for military output. So people went back to work. Automobile factories converted to tank and airplane production. Women moved into the workplace. Demographics shifted. Women and blacks both made major contributions to the economy at home during World War II. The women are symbolized by which famous person?
Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter. Okay, it's a famous picture of a girl pumping her fist, wearing a red bandana. All right, the arsenal of democracy. American factories turned out twice as many goods as German and Japanese factories. Some people think the most significant American contribution to World War II is what we did at home. We were producing ships 5 and 10 times faster than the Japanese were. Okay? Scarce goods are rationed. They had ration cards. If you talk to your grandmas and grandpas or great-grandmas and grandpas who lived and grew up in the 1940s, they will remember what ration cards are. Okay, goods like rubber, sugar, steel were rationed.
When can the Congress put that into effect? Only in wartime?
Whenever they want. There's no law, there's no constitutional law that says when they can or can't. This hasn't been done since that I know. Okay, income of the lowest paid laborers increased faster than the rich, which increases the buying power of the nation. Okay? Because there are a lot more poor people than there are rich people. So if the poor people are making money faster, they're going to spend that. Income taxes started to affect many more people, and a system of payroll deduction occurred. World War II and shortly after is the first time many Americans experienced income taxes for the first time. High savings rate laid the basis for the post-war prosperity. All these people getting to work, making more money, but they couldn't really spend all of it during the war. Once the war is over, we experienced one of the biggest post-war prosperity booms we've ever seen. All right, a nation on the move. Wartime migration, south and west, because that's where some of the newer factories were. Early marriages, increased birth rates, and especially after the war leads to the baby boom. Family-related social problems. Housing shortages, couldn't find homes. More divorces. Neglected children because everyone's working. So there are some underlying problems, societal problems that start during World War II. A lot of people would say World War II laid the basis for a lot of good things, but some bad things as well. Okay, improving conditions. Women's income increased by 50%. African Americans, Fair Employment Practices Commission to ensure equal opportunities in war-related industries. So they're put to work, they're given some equality rights they hadn't gotten before.
But not in the military.
No. Surging migration from the rural South. Segregation and discrimination were still major problems. Now, World War II helps lay the groundwork for two hugely important movements that happen after. The Civil Rights Movement and the Women's Rights Movement. Okay? Women were put to work. When the men came home, women were put out of work. Some women resented that and helped lead to that women's rights movement that really gets going in the late 1950s and in the 60s. Wartime experience for African Americans laid groundwork for post-war civil rights movement, like I just mentioned. Okay, Mexican Americans also took urban factory jobs. So you have a lot of people helping out at home. Okay. Japanese internment. How many of you are familiar with Japanese internment camps? Okay. You guys learn about this at middle school? Okay.
My only own knowledge.
120,000 Japanese moved from the West Coast to detention camps. That should say Japanese Americans. There are two groups, okay? Issei and Nisei. Issei are Japanese Americans who were born in Japan, but they are citizens. Nisei are Japanese Americans who were born in America, thus born as citizens at birth. So we took 120,000 American citizens, put them in concentration camps. Okay? Now, did we slaughter them by the thousands like Hitler did? No. But did we take their belongings? Did we move them from their homes? Yes. Okay, why did we do it?
Because they were Japanese.
Okay? Why?
Thought they might be.
We were worried that some of them may be spies or some of them may be.
Right, we were worried some of them may be spies. Okay? Why didn't we put Germans in concentration camps?
Too many
because
of
they were
them?
white.
3 reasons. Too many of them, because they looked like most Americans, and they didn't attack us like Pearl Harbor. Okay? And now it's pretty easy to tell if someone was Japanese compared to Caucasian. Yep.
You know how the U.S. is allowed to buy out your home and you have no reason? You have no-
Eminent domain, that's
Yeah.
called.
Can that be one way of somebody maybe saying they had an okay reason of doing this constitutionally?
No.
By
No.
giving them a home, but like taking their home by eminent domain?
No.
No?
That's a different deal. That deals with construction and building public services. This is different. 1944 Supreme Court rejected the appeal for release. Now, many Japanese Americans fought in our Army and Navy during this time.
What's that one division?
442nd.
Yeah.
1988, 44 years later, Congress voted indemnity of $1.2 billion for survivors. And to be honest, I don't think it began to pay back. When you lose your business, your home, everything you have, you got to rebuild that. But it's something. At least it was admitting it wrong. One of the biggest black guys in American political history is, this is 26,
Yeah.
is Japanese internment.
You got 1 minute.
It was blatant racial prejudice against a specific group of Americans. This just shows where the camps were put. This is the zone, military exclusion zone, where we were worried about spies.
So basically, if you were Japanese in the West Coast, just move inland, you'll be just fine?
Yeah. Now, Japan did try a few little attacks after Pearl Harbor by sending subs off the coast of
Yeah, mini stuff?
Oregon and things like that. Yeah.